We've talked about Bijan Robinson. We've talked about Zach
Charbonnet.
2 top 10 running back monsters, not rookie. 2 top 10 fantasy football 2023, not dynasty, 2023 redraft running backs. And dynasty, of course, but Charbonnet and Bijan are, yes, inside my top 10. And I know what you're thinking, but Smitty, no. You can't possibly be going here, are you? You aren't going here, are you? Yeah, I am. Buckle up. The changing of the guard has already happened at quarterback. Every single top 5 quarterback in the National Football League, top 5 fantasy football quarterback for that matter, they go hand in hand now. There's no player that doesn't rank both across the board. The changing of the guard at quarterback has already happened. Every single top 5 quarterback is a young
monster.
Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Justin Fields. You heard me correct. And even Trevor Lawrence is a young monster, maybe number 6 overall. You might have somebody else. The changing of the guard has cleaned house at the quarterback position. The changing of the guard is cleaning house, already did clean house at the wide receiver position. You have the sophomore wide receiver class now led by Garrett Wilson, who's got Aaron Rodgers throwing him the football. You have Chris Olave. You have Christian Watson, George Pickens, Drake London consuming half of the top 10 wide receivers in fantasy football 2023 and beyond, redraft and dynasty. The running backs are going to get changed out in 2023. Walker and Breece Hall, they're already getting in the mix. ETN, incoming Bijan, incoming Charbonnet, and yeah, you are not mistaken, young man. I'm going there. The top 10 also will have Jahmyr Gibbs. The Fantasy Football Show, Jahmyr Gibbs edition begins right now.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.
Take a lap. Smitty, I just don't get it.
Of course you don't get it, worried William. William, you're worried about being wrong. You'd rather go with the guy that scored okay last year or the older RBs that are 29, 28, 27 years old. Not me. Not this guy. By the way, we just hit 18K just a few minutes ago.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. I work for you, so congratulations on that. 18K, we're doing good things here. We've got a lot of work to go. We're hitting 25K. Let's try to get there by August. This man, Jahmyr Gibbs, I'm telling you right now, this kid could be the best pass catching back, not only in his draft class here in 2023 from all these RBs coming out that can catch the ball very, very well. It's a prerequisite now to catch the football. But this guy could become very quickly, within 1 year, a top 4 PPR running back in the National Football League. This is Alvin Kamara. It's not a bad comparison. I kind of get tired of people saying, stop comparing him to Kamara. He's too small. One of the most important things we've heard all week long as we head into the NFL draft, and I'll be live for the entire hour before, all the way through the draft and an hour or so after. So I'll be live from 7 p.m. Eastern through midnight. 6 straight hours of live coverage of the NFL draft. And we're going to hear people come in and say, Smitty, he's too small. The best piece of information we've heard all week long. No, not Aaron Rodgers getting traded. No, not where Garrett Wilson's headed now that Aaron Rodgers is in a New York Jet uniform. No, not that Breece Hall's got room to run now that Aaron Rodgers is creating room all over the place. Those are fantastic things as well.
Mashed potatoes!
No, good friend. Those aren't the things that we are most excited about, or there's some of them. The most important thing we've heard all week is under the radar. Under the radar. The most important thing you've heard all week, or maybe you haven't heard, but I've heard it for you, and I'm here to report on it for you, is this little beauty right here. According to an ESPN report that some NFL teams, we're hearing around 2 to 3. Some NFL teams have former Alabama running back Jahmyr Gibbs as their top rookie running back ranked heading into 2023, the NFL draft, ahead of Bijan Robinson. Now, before you say, wait a minute, Smitty,
that doesn't coincide with...
I'm not saying that. It's important to note that I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he can't be the best running back from this class. Landing spots can determine a lot. What I'm saying is the fact that multiple teams were hearing around 3 to 4 I'm hearing from a good source. 3 to 4 teams view Jahmyr Gibbs as their number one running back. Some of that is due to team fit. There's obviously that aspect to it, involved. But what this should tell you, not, Smitty, maybe you're wrong about Bijan. I'm not wrong about Bijan. He's the number one overall rookie running back, the number one overall running back in Dynasty Fantasy Football right this very moment, before he's been drafted, before he's taken an NFL snap, and he's going to finish as the number one or number two running back in 2023 out of all players. Mark it down. You heard it here. But what this tells me in a very, very nice fashion, where I'm grinning ear to ear if you can't see, this kid is going to be drafted to start. This right here is what we've been waiting to hear. This right here gives us the assurance that there are teams, and the teams likely to take him because they value him so much, that he's number one on their board as far as RB. So if he falls, they're gonna pounce, or at least one of these teams will. This tells you that he's being taken seriously by the NFL scouts, that his 199-pound frame isn't making a lot of teams go, hey, this is not an every down back. That's what we're worried about. The only thing you could possibly be worried about, because if your eyeballs work, if you can see the film, hear the film, absorb the film in any way, and you can't tell that he is an elite Alvin Kamara in Alvin Kamara's prime running back, I don't know that I really can help you, to be honest with you. And I don't really know why you're here, but I'm glad you're here. Hit that thumb up button. But I'm telling you right now, this guy, when you watch the film, it's like watching Alvin Kamara. And quite honestly, he looks better than Kamara looked coming out of college, more prepared to become Kamara. Smitty, did you just say Gibbs was more prepared to become Kamara than Alvin Kamara was prepared to become Kamara? Kamara was a player on the rise. I believe you can't probably find an analyst higher on Kamara than I was, because I called him a top 5 running back when he landed in New Orleans and wasn't even the starter. He landed in New Orleans and it was a crowded backfield. And your boy went on NBC, CBS Sports Radio, like I did every year for 20 straight years before I became a YouTuber, and I dropped Kamara will be a top 5 running back. Buckle up. Rookie drafts, people drafted him at number 5, 6, 7. He wasn't going in the top 2 or 3 in rookie only drafts. In rookie only drafts, he was getting passed on. But his size, which people had a problem with, your boy didn't. This right here is what we needed to feel assured that other teams aren't concerned, at least a number of them. And so he's not going into a situation where they're like, his draft capital is so high, he's going to go at least at the tail end of round 1. I imagine he could go higher. He could go anywhere from like the 18 to like 28 range. Not those specific picks, but in that range. Not that Detroit wouldn't trade away Swift and take him at 18. Let's look at the board so we accurately depict his potential rise. Jahmyr Gibbs could go to Baltimore. He could go to Minnesota if they cut Dalvin Cook. He could go to Buffalo at 27 overall. He could go to Cincy at 28 overall. I'm getting excited. He could go to Philly at 30 overall. These are the best landing spots I've ever seen in my life, and this is his territory. This is where he's falling. This is where he's projected to go. In a way, he's got the best landing spots mapped out. Him and Charbonnet are kind of projected for that 27 to 35 overall draft slot, and that puts Buffalo, Cincy, and the Philadelphia Eagles in the driver's seat. Some would say KC. I'm kind of tired of watching them use first rounders and high draft picks on players they don't fully use right away. Give me Philly, give me Cincy, give me Buffalo. In fact, on the board here, I've got the top 6 landing spots for RBs. My dream come true is to replay this clip later with a big smile on my face and say, we got at least 2 of these guys, Bijan, Gibbs, and Charbonnet, if we're lucky, all 3, that each land in one of these amazing landing spots. Kind of throw the Chargers on there, but if we take the Chargers off and say, until we know what's going on with Eckler, they got to trade Eckler, these are the top spots. Chicago, Philly, Cincy, Buffalo, then probably Atlanta. If we get 2 of these players, Bijan, Gibbs, and Charbonnet, to land in one of these spots each, we are going to be to the moon. To the moon.
To the moon.
If we get... Hold on. This is bothering me. If we get 3 out of 3, I don't know what I'm going to do we're going to have to come up with some out of galaxy button that we press when Smitty just passes out live. I'll probably pass out during the live stream if all three of these guys land in one of these locations. Jahmyr Gibbs in 2022, 926 yards and 7 touchdowns. 44 receptions for 444 and 3 touchdowns, 10 total touchdowns. The way I look at this kid at the National Football League level, I see him as not a consistent 1,200-yard rusher. I see him as a guy that maybe 1 out of 3 or 4 years, he's going to run for 1,000 yards. He might be 900 and 900, a 17 and 1,800 total yard guy with eventually 70 to 80 plus receptions per season. You heard me correct. That's going to put him in the top 1 to 4 in PPR type production. He will be that guy. He is that guy. He is him when it comes to Alvin Kamara-esque type production. And so you give him 900 rushing yards, you give him 900, sometimes every once in a while he might pop off for 1,000 receiving yards. Give him 900 and 900. Give him 12 to 14 total touchdowns and eventually give him 70 plus receptions year after year. And in his rookie year, I fully expect him to be a borderline top 8 to 10 running back, to be honest with you, on PPR. And I think he can get about 50 plus receptions in year 1 as a rookie to get you well over 1,200, 1,400 total yards as a rookie with those 50, 55 receptions. Jahmyr Gibbs is one of the running backs that is the changing of the guard. As I've said, the quarterbacks have already been changed out. It's time for the running backs to be cleaned up, moved out, and the new guard to come in and take over. Led by Kenneth Walker, led by Breece Hall, led by Bijan Robinson, more importantly, led also by the other 2 incoming guys, Zach Charbonnet and Jahmyr Gibbs. I know I sound optimistic for rookies, but look what we saw happen last year. And it's not just about picking all rookies. All rookies will do great. Let's throw a bunch of mud at the wall. A lot of people didn't like Kenneth Walker. That's why we, as a community, were probably the highest community on the planet, on YouTube, on Kenneth Walker, if I had to guess, because we were drooling and salivating over his 8 and 9 round ADP. It was win a league material, and Gibbs is going in round 4 or 5. Count on round 4, especially after the NFL draft. People get real excited once a player kind of becomes real to them. They've got a landing spot. He'll climb to the top of round 4, but he's worth every penny of top of round 4 value. Anywhere as your 4th drafted player in redraft is totally acceptable. Anywhere inside the top 15 to 18 overall in a Dynasty 1 QB startup is totally acceptable. And if he climbs higher and higher, we'll address it then, and I think I'll be okay with it. But I want to be careful not to insinuate that you got to take him anywhere near where you're taking Bijan, which in Dynasty startups will be top 1, 2, or 3 overall. In redraft right now, it's probably around 9 to 14. Grandma leagues, 14. In shark leagues or in leagues with our community, number 6. And he'll be worth number 5 or 6 overall. And go watch my Bijan video, link in description if you want more on me calling him the number 1 overall Dynasty running back. And my prediction is he finishes as the number 1 or number 2 overall redraft running back in 2023 as a rookie. This is about Gibbs though. Buckle up, get your popcorn ready. Jahmyr Gibbs is on his way to becoming a top 10 running back as a rookie in PPR, and of course, that and more in the future. Get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com for your year-round fantasy football rankings, bold predictions, your one-on-one text advice, your rookie rankings, your super rookie rankings, your trade calculators. This is the one-stop shop. The video courses drop around May 1st. A lot of them will, and then a bunch more will follow. How to negotiate trades, how to trade into the first round, how to trade out of the first round, how to identify your trading partner and the tactics that could work on them. This is like a university for fantasy football learning, the video course section on thefantasyfootballshow.com. Get over there and get you some. Now, get out of here. Oh, and don't forget, I'm live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. I'm live whenever news breaks. So when news breaks, think of me, because I'm out there explaining the impact, the fantasy impact of any breaking news that's occurring. It's not just about breaking the news. You need a place to go where someone says, okay, we already all heard the news broke, right? Aaron Rodgers got traded. I'm not out there trying to pretend I'm the lead dog news breaker on Aaron Rodgers getting traded. I want you to understand that when Aaron Rodgers gets traded, minutes later, I'm scrambling in the studio, firing up all the LEDs. I'm getting to my desk. I'm creating the graphics, and I go live to talk for 2 or 3 hours on the impact of Aaron Rodgers going to New York. Breece Hall to the moon. Garrett Wilson to the moon. How far, how fast do these guys go into space? That's what we talk about here on the show. So subscribe up. We just hit 18K. Be a part of the revolution. I work for you. I appreciate you. Now get out of here.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.